Well, good morning, people. What's up? Wow. Maybe I should have started this earlier. Anyway, hey, it's the eve of the 4th of July. Lady Boomer and I got the alcohol. We got the fireworks. We went over to Wisconsin and bought fireworks. Shh. Don't tell anybody. And we got the car loaded up because we're ready to head up north to the lake for the 4th of July weekend. Excited. Gonna hang out with my son's significant other's family and several of his friends, several of their other daughter's friends, and we're just gonna have a good time and chill for the 4th of July. I hope those of you in the States have some great plans for the weekend, or at least one of the days this weekend. There's a lot going on in the country. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we can talk about. We're just gonna go through some random news stories today. No theme to it today, except for independence, which I plan on remaining. Oh, by the way, I have some news about being able to stream in a mobile way. I'll tell you about that in a minute after I play the intro. Johnny, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. And stop the music. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, me, Marty, also known as PDawg Night, which is what I am known as on the internet. It is Friday, July 3rd, 2020. Yes, the year of FFS. Yes, that's it, man. Holy shit. I was going to do a whole show on Twitter hot takes today because, oh my goodness, there's some out there. Unbelievable. But then I thought, we'll just do some random stories and see what's happening. Dog Thrapple. Sorry, that's the immediate reaction I have whenever I see Scribe jump into the chat and write Dog Thrapple. Anyway, so let's say good morning, everybody, real quick because I want to get it going because I am about to get out of town. Okay, I'm about to get out of town, and as soon as this show's over, me and Lady Boomer are putting the last few things in the truck and heading up north, as we say in Minnesota. So good morning first to my friend Advocatus Diabli, also known as the Devil's Advocate. You get the bell. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning to Richo, my friend from down under. Zombie Teddy, who is the second person to ever join me on the Morning Night Live, and that's awesome. Also, good morning to Sean DW, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And also Cal Ken L, Superman's distant cousin. Amy in Connecticut, what's happening? Big Assassin 80. Renee Mayette, good morning. I'm glad you are here. DI Freighter Watcher, same. Kessler, same. Stabbing Joe Scarborough, sharpening up the knives. Let's see who else is here. Necrosaw Collins. Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you're here. I know you pop in and out, but I don't always catch you here. But you always are so kind to retweet the show. I always appreciate that. Also, good morning to Grillin' Pirate Pete, the Fox and Barrett Show, All You Need, Gamer Valine, Duck Dog, Attack Alpaca, and that is the full stretch of the and Scribe Light, of course. Scribe Light. Check out Scribe on the daily during this Corona apocalypse. He does some good stuff, making fun of TED Talks and other similar, some other similar ventures. So, and also it's very enlightening. Sometimes I go, Scribe, you are really good at thinking on the fly. So, also let's see. Oh, Jay Wolf, what's happening? I see you are here too. Rolling Bears rolling in, and people are showing up as we go. I'll try to catch everyone as we come by what's happening. So anyway, like I said, there's a whole lot going on, and it's funny, I've been just going up and down Twitter and just seeing people do these really crazy hot takes. Oh, thank you. Oh, a couple thank yous. Scribe Light, Jay Wolf, Gamer Valine, Necrosaw Collins, all you people who are retweeting the show. Thank you. That is a huge help to me. You know, in the last month, I've tried to keep track of like how many new subscribers I get in a month. Good morning, Sugar Blue Jiffwood too. I've been tracking it kind of, and I'm averaging about 30, 40 new people a month. And over the last 30 days, I think it's been close to 70 new subscribers. So that's awesome. I appreciate it. And that's all because you guys share the streams out. So the more you share it, the more we'll grow. And you'll probably meet some new friends in the chat here and there. I know a lot of you watch some of the other shows that I watch, and a lot of you are from those. And I appreciate all the people who help me that way too. Okay, so I bookmarked a few tweets this morning, and then I got several news stories, but there are a couple here that I just wanted to highlight. Let's see. So apparently, you've probably heard of this woman. I don't even know what she did, but she apparently got kicked off of some, she got fired. I wonder what happened to her. Oh, is this the woman who said that she would knife people? I guess she worked at some university. Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen real quick. You may have already seen this, but apparently sometimes cancel culture, when you like to have people canceled, sometimes it bites you in the ass. Good morning, Mike Savage, by the way, and Tyler F. Okay, so here's her very sad, soliloquy.
I know this is what Trump supporters wanted, because standing up for Black Lives Matter put me in a place online to be seen by millions.
You know what? Right off the bat, she's hiding by her virtue, hiding behind her virtue of being a supporter of Black Lives Matter. I'm sure the Trump supporters wanted me to get fired or whatever the hell happened to her. That's just it's a very subtle signaling of the virtue. Bitch, shut up.
Of people, the job that I had worked really hard to get.
Oh, when you threaten to knife people.
A lot to me.
Yes.
Called me and fired me because of everything. I don't know if everyone's seen, but it's been circulating a lot. My Black Lives Matter TikToks were picked up by conservatives and spread and shared. And
yeah, no one cares about the Black Lives Matter one, though. They care about the one where you said that you would knife you basically. Here, let me paraphrase. You said you would cut a bitch. And now they cut your job.
People were demanding that I be fired, which I just got.
Oh, you got what
you... job that I worked really hard for.
Oh, now look. I personally don't think that people should be fired necessarily for things they put online. But since that's the game we're playing right now, it just kind of happens, doesn't it? Guess you'll have to figure that out, and maybe I don't know. Don't care. I feel this much bad for her. Okay. Good morning to Cracked. How you doing, my brother? Also, I see Quinn the Cultist has joined the fray. And Renee Mayette, were you already here? I saw you early this morning, and you tweeted something under something that I was looking at, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yes, they did make the rules. They sure did. Okay. But wait, there's more. Let's see this one here. I say a lot. What was the other one? Oh, yeah, this is a hot take. Brian Krasenstein, or his uglier twin brother, who tweets under the name of one of their wives, had a hot take today or yesterday. When was this? This was a couple days ago. But I did put a bookmark on it because, he says, Black Lives Matter. Oh wait, I got to do it in a Krasenstein voice though. Black Lives Matter is part of American history. I say we erect statues of George Floyd and other black Americans who were killed by racism right in front of Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Let's see how Trump feels about the statues then. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is, by the way, if you just got here, I'm doing a little hot take hentai for you. First of all, no. George Floyd is no. No. Oh my God. But that was the other day when they were talking about what they were talking about was painting a big Black Lives Matter mural on the street in front of Trump Tower because Bill de Blasio is such a petty little bitch and he needs a distraction so badly that he would he needs something to draw attention away from his miserable failure as a mayor. So I guess that's that was his idea, and Brian Krasenstein, who or his uglier twin brother, who tweets under the name of one of their wives, added this to the conversation. And I know we didn't do FTG Thursday yesterday because I forgot, but we could do FTG to I hate to get his wife or the other uglier twin brother's wife involved, but FTG Mrs. Krasenstein. There, FTG Mrs. Krasenstein. Who's really Brian Krasenstein or his uglier twin brother? Good morning to Small Man. Good morning to that's Jaeger Pony. What's happening? One of my favorite Canadians. More hot takes on Twitter today. This was, or at least bookmarks. I got a few, and then we'll get back into some news stories. This is not a hot take, but I found it fascinating. Someone named Simone Del Rosario said the father of 19-year-old Lorenzo Anderson, who was shot and killed near Chop, tells our Matt Lork, I guess that's his name, he has yet to speak to Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan. But he says President Donald Trump called him today. Now this is interesting. So we'll play this little clip here. It's only 13 seconds.
I still ain't heard from the mayor. Incredibly, Donald Trump called me. The President of the United States called me today.
All right, so he is pretty impressed with that, and then he went on Sean Hannity too, and this guy's not some right wing bigot, so to speak. Mayor Mayor Durkan found out about this, and so she replied to Simone. Well, didn't reply, but Simone's reporting that Mayor Durkan told our Brandy Cruz today that she has reached out through an intermediary and hopes to speak with Anderson's family soon.
Wow.
Okay. Are you kidding me? Oh, Jay Wolf, that if you didn't hear that, it was because there's only in one channel. So if you only have your, I don't know which one, it was either your right or left channel. If you don't have both channels on, you might not have heard that, just FYI. That's hilarious because doesn't Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan, what's the words I want to use for this? Doesn't Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan live in Seattle where this guy lives? And wait a minute. Now, it seems though as the President of the United States, who has a vastly larger plate of responsibilities and things to go to do, wouldn't you think perhaps the fact that the president of the United States called this guy, and this guy lives in her town, I think she'd be kind of embarrassed. But here's the thing. So as I'm scrolling through this, I notice that here, someone named Joni Job, whatever, invest 100 million in black communities and cut tens of thousands from SPD, Seattle Police Department. And she okay, so the mayor got a little biffed because the attorney general made some comments and the president made some comments. So she's like, I would urge Attorney General Barr to restore lawfulness in Pennsylvania Avenue. And then comments by the president and his administration were unhelpful and made the situation more volatile. I don't know how the president talking about CHOP or Chaz made the situation more volatile. It seems like you had enough volatility in your Chaz or CHOP, regardless of what the president said. People were dying, people were getting beat up, people getting, raped, robbed, and mayhem. Yes, but it's of course it's Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault that she couldn't keep them off the block. But I don't care anymore. I just don't care. All right, so let's see. I got a couple more. Like I said, there's only a few more. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. This was interesting. And some people might have thought it was satire. Hang on a second. I do a quick thank you. Thank you, Pirate Pete, for retweeting the show. I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, it is. Well, let me do the show first. It is the day before the 4th of July on the Morning Night Live, and the Morning Night Live is here because you make this show sustainable. I'll use the flowery language of the woke crowd. You are the people that make this show sustainable. And if you feel, though, like you would like to keep it sustainable, that would be great. You can continue to do that by sharing the stream out on social media. You can hit the share arrow down below, send it out to where you want it to go, or you can follow me on Mind Gabs, Parler, and Twitter. On Twitter, I'm very active. The other three are also notification machines for me. But if you're on one of those platforms, if you tweet it out, maybe someone will go, oh, my friend here tweeted this out. This might be interesting to me too. And that's how we help me grow. And also, if you like what we do, and I mean you and me and everybody else who participates, hit that like button, give it an elbow, give it a hip check, hit it, give it a boop with your nose, whatever you want to do, but hit that like button. And finally, financial support's always appreciated too. That's always a great incentive. The super chats and donations, you can do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. It does show up in the chat every once in a while. It doesn't look like it has yet today, but it does. But you can find that. And we have the special, the 1776 special alert queued up. So if you'll see the wonderfully patriotic Hacksaw Jim Duggan if you donate $17.76 in honor of Independence Day. Greatly appreciated for everyone who does super chats and shares the stream. And even if you're lurking or if you're watching on replay, I greatly appreciate all of you. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, and good morning to CNN Sucks, the most redundant name in the chat. Okay. This one is interesting. Now, some people thought this was a parody at first, and I'll go through a couple of these, but it's pretty cringy. And only because there are so many mixed messages about this particular topic, and I'll give you one example of a mixed message that sometimes comes up when you hear these kinds of things. But this is about something called sexual racism. Now, this is, I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, just a reminder, anyone I talk about that is on Twitter or any of these platforms, just a reminder that these are all just people that are out there, and I don't condone them being harassed in any way. Not that my audience would ever do that, because you are the greatest audience in the world, but just if you're going to reply to them, you can reply to them on your own. Don't involve me. But I don't encourage you to, come down on any of these people. They're just people on Twitter, and we don't need to do a parade of what do they call it? Dog piling? I don't know. Whatever. Oh, anyway, I'll tell you that in a minute. So anyway, this says sexual racism is racism. If you're white and you find yourself writing off an entire ethnic group from your dating or sex life because you can't imagine finding them attractive, recognize this is a learnt, L-E-R-N-T, L-E-R-L-E-A-R-N-T, a learnt behavior, which originates in white supremacy. Here's some more info. Now, just right off the bat, when I saw this, I thought to myself, methinks that perhaps Alexander Leon is having trouble getting dates. I was looking at his profile. Apparently he is a writer and campaigner, LGBT plus rights and anti-racism, mental health, which I don't know if that's the field he's in or that's a descriptor. But anyway, and then FT, Guardian of Pity. He writes for The Guardian. Oh, goodness. Patrice Ripley here. Hello, Patrice. I'm so happy to see you. I see you too, Kevin S., and I'm happy to see you too. But Patrice hasn't been around in a while. My official K-pop aficionado is in the house. I am so happy to see you again, Patrice. And our first super chat of the day, we've got the Boomer Lady dancing. I know what that means. Thank you, Gamer Valine, who says the Seattle mayor is proving she is not Jenny from the block. And she says, I'll go in the corner. No, actually, you don't have to, because you can tell by the rocks I've got. I'm Jenny. What? How's that song go? Let me go. I got to find the lyrics. Hold up. I was going to sing along, and I couldn't think of anything to make up. It doesn't matter about the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. I used to have a little, but now I have a lot. But everywhere I go, wait, I know where I come from. Is that what it is? Something like that? I actually sort of know the lyrics to that song, and that's a little bit embarrassing. So, all right. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. Thank you again, Gamer Valine. You are a lovely and passionate human being. All right. So apparently Alexander can't get a date, but he's, let's talk about sexual racism, a guide for white people. Now, let's just start off by saying, there are a lot of people from a lot of different races who, have a thing about not dating other people of other races. And it's not, so I don't know why this is a guide for white people. Some of the dirtiest looks I got when I would be dating people of other races were usually from people of my melanated level of competence. I don't know what I just said there, but it sounded good. So anyway, but this is a guide for white people. So let's just go through this a little bit. What is sexual racism? What were you talking about? Something stupid, but this is a show it's all about. Yeah, I'm telling you. Good. Oh, by the way, good morning, BG. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. I don't know what the words. Do anyone know the actual words in that song? It's really hard to understand Barry Gibb and the boys. But anyway, may two of them rest in peace. Good morning, Midnight in Exile, and also, hey Larry, how you doing? All right. So anyway, what is sexual racism? An individual's inclination towards having sex with or dating someone based on that person's. Whoa, I got another. Oh, it is the 420 super chat. Little Snoop Dogg dancing in the background. Good morning and thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And good morning. Who says, I see that your garden looks amazing. Do you use HB's Pence rope for faggots to keep those unruly sticks in line?
That's right.
No, we, here's what I do. Here's what I do. To keep my garden looking extra fresh. I plant a lot of perennials that tend to bloom at different times in the cycle during the summer. And then I spray some stuff to keep the deer and rabbits away. And that's pretty much it. Because I know that my garden, it turns out really good. And I kind of got it plotted out pretty good. And I got, like I said, I have a bunch of stuff that comes up early in the spring. I got a lot of stuff that comes in mid-spring, late spring, summer, and so on. And people think, oh, you have this great green thumb. Nah, I just planted it, and it all comes up, and it does its own thing. Because I don't like dealing with annuals. They're a pain in the ass. Do I have a vegetable garden too? Lady Boomer this year planted several pots and containers of different vegetables. So we do have tomatoes, bell peppers, jalapenos, poblano peppers. We have this kind of, oh my gosh, we have this oak leaf lettuce that she put in this container. She put 5 of them in one container, and it kind of is overwhelming. You can't eat it fast enough because like oak leaf lettuce, you can cut off some and then it keeps growing. Holy shit, it's hard to keep up with. Oh, and she also planted strawberries in a pot, and we've got a bunch of strawberries. And in one of our flower pots, we have a trellis that we have sugar snap peas on. So we do have some. Anyway, well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Music loud and women warm. I've been kicked around since I was born, but that's all right. That's okay. Okay, thank you, Sean, for giving me those lyrics and ruining everybody's day for me singing it. But I appreciate you for putting the lyrics out there. All right, let's get into this. Oh, and again, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for the 420 super chat. That comes in handy on 420. In fact, on 420 of every year from now on, I only allow the $4.20 super chats. All right. So sexual racism is an individual. Okay. So an individual's inclination towards having sex with or dating someone based on that person's perceived racial identity. Now, wait a minute. Wait. There's a problem here just in the very first line of this. Based on that person's perceived racial identity or your perceived racial identity of that person. I don't know which that is, but anyway, it's commonly used to describe the tendency for white people to exclude certain ethnic groups from their sexual and romantic life based on their preferences. Really? Are you serious? Just white people? Because I gotta tell you, I know a lot of Asian people just because of where I've grown up and lived and things like that. And Asian people kind of do the same thing. Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something. You know what? I know a lot of black people too. There's a lot of black people that do that same thing too. But then there's some people like me who just don't give a fuck. I mean, if you know my dating life before I met Lady Boomer, I was like, fuck. It was like going to the United Nations. Maybe I shouldn't go there. But anyway, all right, let's continue. And as you're about to find out, yes, in a multicultural society, this does count. This does count as a form of racism. Sorry, not sorry. Well, sorry, fuck you. Okay. Oh, and he's the one who wrote this. All right, let's go to slide 2. It's just a preference. Jam or marmalade is just a preference. Deciding that you're not into an entire ethnic group is not. Huh. Okay. Unlike what? Because I kind of like jam and marmalade, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, deciding that you're okay. Unlike preferences around gender, racial preferences in dating are usually considered a result of societal conditioning rather than innate or biological. This means that your attraction or lack of thereof of a particular race is not an innate preference, but a learned preference cultivated over a lifetime due to the way you were socialized, and you can, I will repeat, can unlearn it. Huh. Okay. Okay. People date things they're comfortable with and familiar with, and what the fuck? The way I was socialized, yep. You likely grew up in a world where white people were celebrated as the default. Why is this guy only talking to white people? Literally, there are people like... Have you ever gone into a Chinese restaurant in the United States? And everyone in the Chinese restaurant working there is Chinese or some near Asian replica? Like, there are no other people working in that restaurant. I've always wondered about that, too, because, they always talk about, well, you can't discriminate. But you never see a brother. It's very rare to see a brother working in a Chinese restaurant. I'm just saying. Unless you're in a Jackie Chan, Chris, what's that dude's name? Chris Tucker. A Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker movie. Anyway. Hi, Chicago Mike. Hi, Adam Richard. How you doing? Okay. Okay, so let's see. Yep, you likely grew up in a world where white people were celebrated as the default, and it's not the default. They just they're just the majority. It's I always get pissed off with this white supremacy stuff. It's not most things that people call white supremacy are just that there's more white people around. I can't get around that. There's no changing that on purpose. There's no social engineering unless you do some really dastardly shit to stop that. I don't cares. Just sometimes people gotta get out over the inferiority complex that we don't need to have. You literally can't escape it. Oh, white supremacy extends out to the media, fashion, and popular culture. You literally can't escape it. Imagine how many times the idea that white equals attractive was implicitly reinforced to you growing up. The models you saw in advertisements, the leading actors in Hollywood films, this gets compounded if you grew up in a predominantly white area. Well, Jackson, or whatever your name is, Alexander, something. I grew up in a predominantly white area, and yet, I'm older than most of the people around here, and I distinctly remember that yes, on TV you saw white people, but you also saw a lot of black people. You saw some Latinos. I mean, I grew up watching the All in the Family, the Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, and what else? Freddie Prinze? What was that show Freddie Prinze was in? May he rest in peace. Anyway, oh God, this is annoying. No. Anyway, he continues. Look, this. Oh, and he says here on this the follow-up tweet, before you asked. No, it's not comparable to other sexual preferences, which are either innate, gender, or don't uphold a system of structural oppression, height. No, it's not racism if POC exclude white people from their sex lives. Whoa! Oh, I got a carve-out for that. I get a carve-out. Thank you, Alexander. You gave me a carve-out. It's not racism if POC exclude white people from their sex lives. This is because this is often done to protect from racism. Have you ever been at a black household the first time someone brought their white girlfriend home? Well, no, not me. That my parents didn't give a shit. But I've seen some stuff, boy. Chico and the Man. Yes, that was a great show. I loved Chico and the Man when I was growing up. Oh, and welcome back, Cotter. My favorite character, Freddie Boom Boom Washington. Hi there. Okay, so, all right. Okay, here we go. Types of sexual racism. Sexual racism, like any form of racism, is destructive and complex. Besides discounting certain ethnic groups from your dating pool, it also comes in other forms. Sexual stereotyping. Making sexual assumptions about someone based on stereotypes associated with their ethnic background. E.g., Asian women being submissive, black men being dominant, and giant penises. Reducing someone down. Oh, fetishization. That's hard to say. Reducing someone down to racialized aspects of their appearance that you find attractive in order to fulfill a sexual fantasy. Really? Let's say, okay, you have a fetishization. Is that wrong? Is that wrong to be attracted to somebody for some physical attribute that they have? Why is that wrong? I've never understood that when people, they start doing this shit. Oh, Streamlabs took away the rainbow little thing there. Okay, I don't get it. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Gamer Valine, with 333 and a little Shaq attack, who says, okay, if I was looking, okay, that's a lie. I'm too lazy to go meet people if I was single. I'm looking for someone that likes metal, anime, video games, guns, has natural blue eyes. What can that get me in a dating pool? I was doing okay till you said the blue eyes, but I'm married, dear. Yeah, thank you, Gamer Valine. I appreciate the super chat. Yeah, you know what? If you like blue eyes, you like blue eyes. You know what's funny? Here's something interesting too. Sometimes some people are attracted to what they know, what's comfortable, what's familiar to them. And it's an interesting phenomenon because if you grew up in an area, okay, that all you saw were people of the same ethnicity, and all your friends are of that same ethnicity, and most people you talk to, you tend to learn things about people. You have similar interests, you have similar taste in things. You tend to be attracted to what you see the most of, right? Now sometimes, if you grow up, like for me, I grew up, personally, I grew up around a very kind of diverse population, being that, I lived in a very mostly white area, okay? Although there were a few black people in our neighborhood because we had a mixed neighborhood. But in school, we had, once I got into junior high, that was during the busing era, so we had all kinds of kids that you met and became friends with, and people didn't care that much. There were some idiots who didn't want to mix with someone who's different than them, but and then my high school was like the United Nations, so I personally dated all kinds of different people. But interesting phenomenon is when I was in my dating years, I had this weird tendency to date redheads. Sounds weird, right? Now, I've dated I've dated many different races and whatnot, but I dated a lot of redheads. Like there were several in a stream there, and I'm like, God, this is really weird. Because it didn't dawn on me until about the fifth or sixth person I went out that was a redhead. And in fact, when I met Lady Boomer, she had red hair, which is kind of weird because she dyed her hair red, or reddish, I should say, not red. But anyway, that's about the point. And then here's the weird thing. Here, let me do the dramatic look at the camera thing. Here's the weird thing. Remember, I've told you many times that I was adopted, right? And see, Mike Savage has been paying attention. I was adopted, and I met my birth parents in the early 2000s. My father is from Nigeria. My mother is full-blooded Irish. Her four grandparents immigrated here from Irish. And my mother has red hair. That's just weird. Is that an Oedipus complex? I don't know. That's just weird because I never met my mother until I was almost 40 years old. So, kind of weird, huh? Black man dating a redhead. Never heard of such thing. Well, Lady Boomer's not a redhead though. Her natural hair is brown, but it was red at the time. But yeah, that was just strange that turned out that way, right? And in fact, when I spent more time outdoors, like in my younger days too, my facial hair would come in. It would be mostly dark, except it'd have all these little red streaks in my facial hair. So that's just an Irish thing, I guess. Okay, let's finish this up because I'm spending way too much time on it. And then we did fetishization. I can't say it. Now he says, what do I do? Reflect on your own behavior. Oh, so now he wants you to seek out books, podcasts, and other media on racism and consider how else white supremacy may have seeped in and created unchecked biases in your life, even places where you shouldn't or don't expect it, like your dating life. Again, I think this guy has just been rejected by too many white guys. He's gay, by the way. I think he's been just rejected by too many white guys. I really do think that. And maybe, there's someone out there for everybody, I'm 6'4", and I tended in my dating days to like tall women, and I ended up marrying someone who's 5'9". Okay, because I like taller women. I'm just tall, and I like taller women. Some tall guys like short women. Some women like guys shorter than them. Some people like this. Some people like that. There's something for everybody. If you first you don't succeed, try and try and try and try again. Finally, let's see, call it out. If you hear white friends expressing that they're just not into black guys or similar, shut it down. Shut it down. Same with people expressing racial preferences on dating apps. Really? Are there any black women on dating apps who say they want a strong black man? Is that okay? Oh, wait, I forgot. This only applies to white people. Hold yourself. Wait. Okay. I'm going to start over. If you hear white friends expressing that they're not into black guys or similar, shut it down. Say with people expressing racial preferences on dating apps, hold yourself and other white people to account on the behavior so that black and brown people don't have to. What business is it of yours who people date? Oh, except when you get rejected, Alexander. All right, enough of Alexander. Let's see here. Oh, wait, and then he adds here in the his next tweet is, and before you get mad in the comments, not my first time at the rodeo, I even have a YouTube video which explains this in more detail. Oh my gosh. Scribe, if you're still here, I have a video for you to go through. I've given you all the info. I've made it easy. Will you take the time to be actively anti-racist today. You know what? I'm bookmarking that motherfucker right there, and we're gonna watch that one later. Oh, that's not bookmark. We're bookmarking that boy. Okay, Alexander. He got ratioed all to hell here, and I'm pretty sure Lauren Chen's gonna do a video about this. Who says, I was happier before I saw this, but it is good content, and laughing her ass off. James Lindsay says, you need to interrogate and problematize how this approach encourages racial sexual fetishism, sexual exoticization, and sexual tokenism. It's clear you haven't given sufficient thought to how this could reduce race to a sexual feature and increase a racial oppression. Now, here's my favorite, though. This woman, and I'm going to go right to her. Well, here, hang on. Oops. No. By the way, thank you, Lindsay, Terabub and Jaeger Pony for tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciated. And the super chat from Chicago Mite with the $5. Quote, having a wife with red hair and a mother with red hair, I understand perfectly. I'm 6'3" and my wife is 5'4". You know, thank you again, Chicago Mike. Yeah, I have dated shorter women in the past. In fact, the shortest woman I ever dated was 4'11", and that was weird. And it just didn't work. It was interesting, though. I'll tell you that. Anyway, yeah. So thank you, Chicago Mike. I understand the red hair thing. I don't know. It was just weird. I finally, when I met my mother, I'm like, oh my God, no way. That's creepy and weird, but that's how it turned out. This person's though replied. I had to dig deep into this tweet shit show. Good morning, MC. Hey,
Hammer time.
good morning. This woman. This would be mildly funny if you weren't literally state opposite. Okay, I don't know what that means, but like this woman says, facts. White people, stop having mixed kids until you understand black culture and struggles. Don't fetishize black genetics. And black people don't fetishize mixed kids either. They are humans, not pets. You're also sending a message to full black kids that they aren't cute. Oh my God, little black babies are the cutest thing on the planet. But but I don't even know what that means. Oh, good God. So anyway, this is one of those topics that you talk to 10 different people of 10 different races, and they all have 10 different answers that kind of meld and mix and contradict and whatnot. But I had to laugh because that same person who wrote that tweet is also, I bookmarked her for something else as I went through some of her Twitter feed, where she says, where is she here? Well, get over it, y'all fucking black men for fetishize half the time, not love. Y'all, she's talking about to white women, but keep getting mad. You love black dick, but not black minds. Y'all know damn well you have babies with good hair and light skin as to fetishize as well. So I thought about this when she had a whole thread about white women fetishizing black men and wanting black babies. She was, in fact, and I have to laugh. Here's why. Okay, so having mixed race children, the phrase "with good hair," okay, you know damn well you have babies with good hair and light skin as fetish. I don't know what she's meant as a fetish as well, and I found that rather fascinating because having mixed race kids, I have never once heard a white woman talk about that good hair. That is almost exclusively a black woman phrase. And in fact, I mean, I've had when my kids were, babies and toddlers and whatnot, and my, black women, I'd heard it 4 or 5 different times. Oh, they got that good hair. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's a black people thing. Anyway. All right. Moving along. And also I got another notification here. Oh, thank you, Gabriel Verleen, for tweeting out the show. That was yours. So thank you everybody who's putting the show out today. I appreciate that. And also, let's see. Oh, we're up to 46 people, 25 likes. That's good. If you like what we're doing, keep going. Hit them like buttons. I got to get to these articles that I was going to be totally random today, and I kind of screwed that up. But anyway, let's go. I got a lot of New York Post stuff today. From the last couple days. Here's we'll start here. Los Angeles apparently is cutting they're cutting police spending and reducing their force to 2008 levels. Interesting. The city of Los Angeles, or the Los Angeles City Council on Wednesday voted to slash the budget for the city's police force and to reducing staff levels to reportedly unseen since 2008. The vote was a response to a dire financial forecast and the demands from mass protests in the wake of Minneapolis. All these cities from around the country are bowing down to these protests over George Floyd in Minneapolis. Do these things... it makes me think that maybe some of these police budgets were bloated anyway, or I don't know. I mean, look, crime has been slowly declining, even violent crime around the country over the last 15 to 20 years. Although there's still an issue with violent crime in certain cities. Like I think most, if you took out, I know New York, Chicago, New Orleans, Detroit, and it might be Los Angeles. If those 5 cities didn't exist, there would be very little violent crime in this country. Oh, Baltimore was one of them too. Because the vast majority of murders and violent crime happen in those cities. And there are other big cities that aren't nearly as bad, but I don't know. The vote was a response. Okay, I already said that. The council voted 12-2 to scale back the number of officers from 10,000 to 9,757. So they're dropping 243 officers next summer as part of a $150 million cut to the LAPD budget. Now, I wonder how many of those officers are pretty much just desk jockeys, or because I don't think they can. I don't know. Let's read the article. Councilman Curran Price, the only black member of the council's budget committee, supported the cuts and said about $100 million of those savings will be redirected to summer youth jobs and hiring programs to help residents of color. I'm not 100% against the concept here, where if this is something that maybe your police budget got bloated at some point and you can redirect it to things that maybe help people in other ways, and maybe reducing crime in those ways, it could be a good thing. But it's kind of like my theory on schools, where people say, oh, you just have these terrible schools in these cities and yada, yada, yada. Well, it's not the schools necessarily that are terrible. The books are outdated and this, that. Well, so can you read from a book that's outdated? That's maybe not new? Can you learn math from a math book that maybe just has a different, less shiny cover? Are there kids from those supposed bad schools that are still going to college, maybe going to, or maybe been accepted to Harvard or a big name school? So if not a single kid comes out of that school knowing jack shit, okay, I'll give you that it's a bad school. But if there are a handful of kids who are getting out of that school with, great grades and this and that and doing decent on their ACT and their SATs and going to college, is it the school that's bad or the environment, attitude, culture versus a school culture, I'm saying, that may be the problem and not necessarily the schools. The school that has to deal with violence all the time because there's a issue. And, you know, that's why I'm hey, if it's the bad schools, then let's go with school choice and let those kids who want to learn get the fuck out of those schools. Because, you know, that's something that's popular with black people, that the one group that in that those, you know, those big buildings in Washington, D.C., I don't know what they're called. They're the, you know, the, oh yeah, the Capitol buildings. There's half of those people in those Capitol buildings don't like that idea of school choice. But I know that the other half likes it, and especially black people like it, but they're not supposed to like that other half. That's the problem, isn't it? It's the teachers that are total shit and hard to fire because of unions. That is part of it. But I got to tell you, I've had a year where I felt that, and I live in a suburb when my kids were growing up. I have had a year where I thought, well, my kids, I don't like this teacher. I don't think this is a very good teacher. So when that happened, we just made sure that our kids still did what they needed to do to learn things, and you know, we took that responsibility. You know, part of it's just, now it's hard. You know, I'm not saying this is easy. This is definitely not easy. You have situations, or you have people with single parents who don't have the time as much as perhaps two parents like me and Lady Boomer were super involved in the schools and did all this stuff and always made sure that our kids were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and they kind of, you know, did what they were supposed to be doing anyway. But yeah, teachers, not being able to get rid of bad teachers is tough. That's just like the police unions, not being able to get rid of bad cops. Maybe we should relook at that, or also, especially with schools, give people a choice. Okay. So there you go. It's, you know, these bad schools excuse, and I don't want to call it an excuse, but the bad school mantra. I've always saying, if there's a handful of kids that come from your school that still do well in standardized tests, that still go to and still go to college and whatnot, then it's not entirely the school. Some people just want to send their kids off to school because that's where they can get them to go when they're got to work, and that's all, you know. The kid that school is supposed to teach your kids. Yeah, it's part of it. You know, the smartest thing me and Billy Boomer did from the day our kids were born, before they could talk, before they even understand what the hell we were saying, we read to them every night before they went to bed, up until they could read themselves, and then for even up until probably at least into 4th, 5th grade, we read every night a couple chapters of a book. We went through the entire Harry Potter series with our kids, and it's funny because we started it with our daughter, and she was like I think she was only like 3 years old when we started reading. We just read a chapter of Harry Potter or two every night, and sometimes she'd make us read 2 or 3 because she wouldn't let it. She just loved the stories. And then, in fact, it got to the point where by the time she was 5, she wanted to read the chapters, and she was the one reading it, and she did it, and she read them to us. And then my son, the same thing. He was about 3, and she was reading them, and then they would take turns by the time he was 5 or 6, because he could read by then too. And that's just one of those things that we did. Not one to make an entertaining family, a family tradition, but 2, my kids loved to read all through the grade school, and it was kind of a trick, but hey, it worked. Their language skills were great. And in fact, it kind of bled into some of their other work. And so, now, is that something that cost a lot of money? No, cost of a book, you know. And well, for us, it was the cost of a lot of books because we had tons of books. But you know what? We could have checked them out from the library too. And is that something that, if your schools are bad, well, if you have the perception that your schools are bad, well, what can you do? What can you do about that? Is it just the school's responsibility to teach your children? I don't think so. Anyway, so the LA police forces are being reduced. Now it's funny, from 10,000 to 9,757. I bet there's at least 243 they're cutting it by. 243 officers. I wonder how many of those 243 officers are just desk jocks. Who knows? All right, moving on. Ghislaine Maxwell, who was in the news yesterday because of the fact that she was finally arrested. Well, Jeffrey Epstein gal pal, Ghislaine Maxwell, may cooperate in a federal investigation. Oh. My condolences to Ghislaine Maxwell on your future suicide. Prosecutors on Thursday left open the possibility that Ghislaine Maxwell could cooperate in their investigation, despite indicting her on charges including perjury. Audrey Strauss, the acting U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, said she wasn't worried about that the perjury charges would undermine Maxwell's ability to potentially testify against others. This something happens where there are perjury charges and people can go from there and become cooperators, Strauss said at the press conference. I'm not concerned about that. In the event that even she were to become a cooperator, I think we would deal with that. Maxwell, 58, was arrested Thursday morning in New Hampshire on charges she groomed underage women to have sex with Epstein in places like his Upper East Side townhouse, Florida, New Mexico, and her home in London between 1994 and 1997. The daughter of media titan Robert Maxwell is also accused of partaking in some of the sexual abuse herself. We know the story. FTG to Ghislaine Maxwell. But the follow-up story to that is powerful men are scared about what Ghislaine Maxwell will say. This is Jeffrey Epstein's victims have another shot at justice. Here's hoping they get it. Yeah, I agree with that. Ghislaine Maxwell, the alleged child sex trafficker and abuser in league with Epstein, was finally arrested Thursday morning. Her guilt in the court of public opinion isn't a question. The only question is, will the federal government keep Maxwell alive to stand trial? Oh, that didn't work. There. Sorry, my sound effects are very slow. There's good reason conspiracy theories still swirl around Epstein's suicide nearly 1 year ago in a downtown federal prison. A prison, by the way, that safely housed Bernie Madoff, the 1993 World Trade Center bomber El Chapo, and a terrorist who told the New York Times it was tougher than Guantanamo Bay. And he would know because he'd been held in both. But Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. It stands to reason that the federal government should be able to contain a socialite. At the time of his death, Epstein was likely the most high-value prisoner in federal custody. He had ties to incredibly powerful men who had everything to lose if they were exposed. He was that most vile of criminals, a pedophile, a child molester, a rapist, and a sex trafficker. Maxwell is the last chance these victims have at justice. Epstein's suicide was yet another brutal victimization. The federal government, if only out of its own self-interest, cannot let a prison suicide or suicide, depending on what you believe, happen again. Maxwell must be treated as she is, as high value as Epstein, as dangerous and sneaky, kept under the strictest 24 24/7 suicide watch. Here's a detail that would make prosecutors and prison guards nervous. In the recent Netflix documentary, Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, a survivor stands outside Epstein's Manhattan townhouse and points to pockmarks in the edifice. Such pockmarks, she says, were all over the interior. The entire house, every room, every bed, every bathroom, every shower, and toilet was rigged with cameras and audio. Epstein kept a secret room full of monitors and watched his guests in real time. He blackmailed the powerful men who would visit and use his girls. Ugh, that's just a gross thing to even say. If Maxwell dies in custody, the federal government will take a hit from which it may never recover. Consider the testimony of survivors doing the documentary. Quote, tears of joy were streaming down my face, Virginia Roberts Jeffrey said upon hearing of Epstein's arrest. Oh my God, said Michelle Licata. Finally, he's going to pay for everything he has done. One survivor warned the feds that Epstein had a way of evading justice. I told them that they needed to look out for their victims, she said. I told them that if they're going to do this thing, they needed to really do it. His death hit these survivors that much harder because they had been given hope. They had been heard, seen, and believed. They were told they would have their day in court. Those other powerful men with ties to Epstein, Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton among them, would not impede a federal trial, and in fact, Epstein's trial would mean more conspirators and participants would fall. Oh, really? Good morning, Tales of Gore. And no room for squares. How you doing? They're going to start digging into his life, said Licata, and start pulling out this spider web of people that were related to it. No question, Ghislaine Maxwell is person of interest number one. Maxwell's favorite game, Jeffrey said, was to place a young girl in front of a powerful older man and say, how old do you think she is? From now on, every time we see her image, please let it be her mugshot, not that disgusting photo of Maxwell beaming alongside Epstein, his arm oh so casually slung around her, his face smugly tilted upward, as if to indicate their complicity, amorality, self-regard, and immunity from justice. We've seen the fall of Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, men who thought they were too powerful to ever see the inside of a prison cell. Epstein took the cowardly way out. No, he didn't. He did not kill himself. Anyway, let's make sure Maxwell, who knew that these young girls would trust her, an older, sophisticated woman, to keep them safe, even as she lured them into unimaginable horrors, never feels safe again. Hell yeah. Great editorial. Moving on, we'll do a couple more and then check out what's happening in the world. Before we go away for the 4th of July, let's see, City Hall demoralized by de Blasio as staffers jump ship. Yes, Bill de Blasio, you can certainly paint Black Lives Matters on the street in front of Trump Tower, but your staff hates you too. You're not going to recover, sir. City Hall employees have been demoralized by Mayor Bill de Blasio's refusal to listen to his staff, leading to bungled administration responses to what are arguably the biggest issues of our time, the coronavirus pandemic and the George Floyd protests, sources told the Post. A lot of the office is pretty demoralized, the source said. The source said. I got the hiccups. That's not good. I'll take a sip of my reparations coffee. That's me. Were it not for the fact that it's hard to guarantee a paycheck right now, I think a lot more people would be headed to the exits, the source added, referring to the sudden joint departures of two longtime senior advisors, Press Secretary Freddie Goldstein and Communications Director Wiley Norville, who have a combined 13 years with His Honor. Both said Wednesday they are stepping down, but not moving on to other jobs. The situation right now with COVID and with George Floyd protests, his style has to be especially grating to staffers, the source explained, noting de Blasio is especially bullheaded and convinced of his own best way to handle things. Well, yeah, he's a jackass. And not the good kind of jackass. You know who my favorite jackass is. Why is this doing this to me? Page unresponsive. I got an idea. Let's just close it. Okay, here's an interesting one that you probably haven't seen yet. Apparently, a CNN reporter was mugged while on the air. I'm just going to let you watch it. Some homeless man mugged this woman. It's in Spanish, so if you don't speak Spanish, you will not
água mais forte lá. E essa água vem sendo trazida para a Grande
Yeah, this
São
is
Paulo
crazy.
e chega à região metropolitana, chega ali via Guarulhos, chega ao Rio
He's
Tietê,
coming
por
up
isso é que
here.
o leito do rio sobe tanto. Aí esse ponto onde a Bruna está, a Ponte das Bandeiras, na Marginal, né? A gente está vendo a ponte, na Marginal, um ponto absolutamente tradicional de alagamento
He's got a
em
knife.
São Paulo. A gente vai sair da Marginal agora e vai para um outro ponto da
He's
cidade
mugging her
com a
right
Carla Chaves agora.
in the middle of the report. Is that not crazy? Wait, there we go. We'll close that. Yeah, in the middle of the report. On CNN is in Brazil. Yeah, that was crazy. All right, more father whose son was killed in the Seattle chop zone gets a call from the president. I showed you that clip earlier, but 19-year-old Horace Lorenzo Anderson Jr. was killed in Seattle's Capitol Hill organized protest zone. His father, Horace Lorenzo Sr., appeared very emotional in an interview with Sean Hannity Thursday. Now, I haven't seen the Sean Hannity version video, the interview with this guy, but I hear it's just heartbreaking. I was kind of reluctant to watch it just after hearing that description. Anyway, Andre Taylor, a family friend who accompanied Horace, revealed they got a call from President Trump himself Wednesday. "We just talked to the President of the United States," Taylor said. "How are you going to top that?" Per Fox News, Taylor said Trump told Anderson he saw his interview on Hannity Wednesday night and was moved by the grieving father's grace in the face of tragedy. In what Taylor said was a 7-minute call, Trump offered his condolences and support. He said he watched Hannity last night and told Horace, "Your son is looking down on you and watching over you," Taylor recounted. He was incredibly gracious and gave Horace some extra help as he buried his son. In the interview, Anderson described his son as a good-hearted but easily influenced. He said he took some solace in knowing that he often told the boy, who he took full custody of at age 2, that he loved him. But when he described the pain of learning through the grapevine that his son was dead, he broke down as Taylor confronted him. "The only way I found out was just 2 of his friends, just 2 friends that just happened to be up there. They came and told me," he said, they weren't even from Seattle. Now, mind you, I haven't heard. The police department, they never came. So no official has told him his son died. That's, oh my gosh. Compounding the father's grief were reports that first responders who came to the chop zone to transport the shooting victims to the hospital encountered an angry mob that denied them entry. The pair were taken to Harborview Medical Center by self-described chop medics, and Anderson's son was pronounced dead on arrival. Gosh, that's very sad. I'm going to put this one in the chat if you want to watch the interview with Sean Hannity, if you haven't done so. I have not watched it yet, but there you go. That's in the chat. Last couple stories of the day. Hey, remember hydroxychloroquine? Now, this is the irony of ironies to me. CNN sucks in the chat will confirm that CNN sucks. So CNN puts this out this morning, July 3rd, this morning. Study finds hydroxychloroquine helped coronavirus patients survive better. Let me repeat that. Study finds hydroxychloroquine helped coronavirus patients survive better. Now, remember, there's a study a few weeks ago that said that it actually hurt people. Remember that? And then it turned out that wasn't even a real study. Someone faked a study, and all the media reported it. Remember that? A surprising new study found that the controversial anti-malarial drug, controversial? There's only one reason it's controversial. Count them. 1. The media made it controversial because Donald Trump mentioned it. If it's Trump, then the media says, fuck Trump. Don't do anything that Trump says or even recommends. A team at Henry Ford Health System in Southeast Michigan. Oh, remember? This is also funny. Now, in Southeast Michigan, I wonder why they were doing this study in Southeast Michigan. Oh, yeah. Because the governor of Michigan, remember the governor of Michigan when she said that she was going to ban the use of hydroxychloroquine? Henry Ford Health System in Southeast Michigan said Thursday in its study of 2,541 hospitalized patients found that those given hydroxychloroquine were much less likely to die. Dr. Marcus Servos, division head of infectious disease for Henry Ford Health System, said 26% of those not given hydroxychloroquine died, compared to 13% of those who got the drug. The team looked back at everyone treated in the hospital system since the first patients in March. Overall, crude mortality rates were 18.1% in the entire cohort, 13.5% in the hydroxychloroquine alone group, 20.1% among those receiving hydroxychloroquine plus azithromycin, 22.4% among the azithromycin alone group, and 26.4% for neither drug, the team wrote in a report published in the International Journal of Infectious Diseases. Okay, this cracks me up because I'll show you something. Hi, Vanny127. How you doing? Watching from the beginning, but glad to catch one of your streams. Well, I appreciate that very much that you get to see it live for today. Happy 4th of July or whatever you call it Happy Independence Day coming tomorrow. It's a little day early, but that's okay. I got the flag going back here. So they say it's a surprising finding because several other studies have found no benefit from hydroxychloroquine, a drug originally developed to treat and prevent malaria. President Donald Trump touted the drug heavily, but later studies found not only did patients not do better if they got the drug, they were more likely to suffer cardiac side effects. Oh my.
Wow.
The one that study that said they more likely to suffer cardiac side effects. The study that they couldn't find any real data research, didn't get peer reviewed or nothing, Anyway, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration withdrew its emergency use authorization for the drug earlier this month, and trials around the world, including trials sponsored by the World Health Organization and National Institutes of Health, were halted. Our results do differ from some other studies, Servos told a news conference. What we think was important in ours is that patients were treated early for hydroxychloroquine to have benefit. It needs to begin before the patients begin to suffer some of the severe immune reactions that patients can have with COVID. Now, that reminds me of the study at the Veterans Hospitals. Remember, they said, it had no effect, but those studies were on patients who already had severe symptoms of the disease. And also, in that study, in the veterans study, the average age of the people who were being studied were like 77 years old. The people who were over 80 were dying anyway, just like a normal. Anyway, whatever. Good morning to the greatest person on YouTube, by the way, and Willett Forge, too. Holy shit. Okay, I'm not going to read any more of this, but that's just funny to me that CNN sucks, has to at least eat crow at one time. Now, I remember, let's see, do I still have this? I'm pretty sure. Where is it? There's actually, here it is right here. I'm going to put this on the screen. It pops up. So remember I found this study. Let's see, is this it? This is the economic standard. What is this? Hydroxychloroquine versus COVID-19. This is one of the studies. This is a bunch of different studies. This is not the one I'm looking for. Anyway, in, I think, 2005, when the first SARS epidemic or whatever they called it at the time, I don't know if it was necessarily considered pandemic, but they were testing chloroquine as a like a prophylactic for SARS back in 2004, 2005, and they found, and hydroxychloroquine too, and they found that it had some the same effects as they're describing in this study here. So it's not the first time that they've tried to use these drugs for those particular, for a coronavirus epidemic or pandemic. So anyway, interesting. This is I found this is from a couple weeks ago, and I'm finding a little bit of humor in it only because of what's happened since. So this back on June 11th, Wall Street Journal puts this article up, and this is, during the time of, riots and statues were starting to come down. And I found something interesting about this, because here they have this article: after years of debate, Confederate symbols disappear quickly. Protesters push for removal of monuments they say are an antiquated celebration of slavery and inequality. And I'll just read some of it. The debate about what to do with Confederate monuments and symbols has simmered for decades. Now, in several days, officials have decided to remove, and protesters have toppled or defaced dozens of statues across the U.S., and entertainment and sports companies have entered the discussion. It feels to me, with Confederate symbols, a bit like the gay marriage debate, where it seemed impossible. Then, all of a sudden, there was a huge shift in public opinion on it, said Don Taylor, professor of public policy at Duke University and director of its Social Research Institute. He said museums are an appropriate place for the statues. Okay, they're talking about the Confederate statues, right? Anybody here, put a 1 in the chat if you think if they move these statues into museums that people would stop bitching about them. And put a 2 in the chat if they move these statues to museums, there will still be an uproar over the statues and perhaps continued mayhem. 1, okay, cool. Put them in museums. 2, mayhem. Just curious. The newfound speed reflects how protests that were sparked by the killing of George Floyd while in police custody in Minneapolis have widened and deepened to address other issues. Civil rights leaders say removing monuments has in the past been stalled by a debate about whether they are an antiquated celebration of slavery that should be removed or history lessons that should stay where they are. Well, what's fascinating about this, when we talked, they're not just stopping at the Confederate statues. Remember that? They're not stopping at the Confederate statues. They're taking down any statue they see, whether they know about it or not. And the one that came down, what was the one that came down yesterday? Oh, let's look this up. I wonder if this, let's look on Twitter for this one. We're going to go Portland, elk statue. Let's see if anyone talked about this one. Yeah, okay, here's one. So, this statue has been in Portland for a long time. It's a statue of an elk. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the impetus for putting this statue of an elk up, but it's been there for a long time. 173 Thompson's Fountain in Portland. It's just an elk, because there's probably a lot of elk in the Pacific Northwest, right? Lots of twos. Check your logic. You think it'd be cool if they just put them in the museums? Well, I wish that I wish to hope that were true. I don't know. So this is an elk statue. I don't know what it's for. I don't know the history behind it, but apparently in Portland, the Antifa decided that they're going to destroy the statue. Now, I don't know what they put on it, but they burnt that motherfucker to a crisp. And apparently this thing, I mean, I don't know what it's made of, but it's just destroyed. The elk statue in downtown Portland is now fully engulfed in flames. This is from last night. Oh, this is refreshing on its own. Happy 35th anniversary. Who's that? Oh, it's Back to the Future. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, Antifa torches 100-year-old elk statue in Portland because racism and George Floyd. Here's the story. Antifa terrorists torched a racist elk statue last night in Portland. Here's the statue in 1900. Okay, now this is obviously a biased source, but last night, violent leftists burnt the Thompson elk to the ground. Around 200 Antifa terrorists from far-left militant protesters gathered at the Portland Justice Center on Wednesday night and then torched the elk statue. Okay, let's see. Around 200, they tore off the wood protecting the building windows and have started fires. The elk statue in downtown Portland is fully engulfed in flames. Overnight, on June 30th to July 1st, in Portland, the police made dozens of arrests at the Antifa riot in North Portland. Antifa tried to attack the police union hall, and later the North Precinct rioters attacked police with large rocks and started fires in residential areas. I wonder if... apparently those are not the fine people on that side. But bad elk. I mean, what the fuck? It's an elk. Why are they trashing an elk? It's a friggin' elk. Go figure. Anyway, all right, we got to go because I'm about to get out of town. So let's hit the Explore tab. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the chat. This is fascinating. So we've had this big hubbub about and having all these people quitting movies and TV shows because they might say the words of a character with a melanated character. They're quitting their cartoons and all this shit. And now Hamilton is now streaming on Disney. Now I'm probably going to watch this just because I've heard Hamilton's a great show. But if you can tell me what the issue might be with this particular production that flies in the face of everything we've been listening to and hearing and seeing over the last few weeks. Is it ironic that Hamilton is now streaming on Disney? What critics are calling the streaming event of the year. Watch Hamilton now exclusively on Disney Plus. Hamilfilm. Okay. Can I show you what I'm proudest of in Hamilfilm? This is someone named Hamilton. Let's see. Eric Alper says, you know what's amazing about Hamilton film being available to everyone? There are going to be 100,000 of kids who are going to love music and Broadway and theater for the first time and forevermore. Now, I love musical theater. I just got to tell you. Well, it's not all black cast. Lin, what's his face? This Puerto Rican, Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's Puerto Rican. You know, let's just say there's minorities portraying white people. Is this a form of theatrical blackface? Or blackwashing? I still want to see it. I hear it's really good. I mean, but still. Lin-Manuel Miranda, stage manager. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Places call. Have a great show. Places, everyone. See you on the other side. Love you. Lin-Manuel Miranda. Eliza, The Orphanage. Me, every single time, without fail. Okay, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm going to watch it because I've heard it's really good. And me singing every single word during Hamilton. I just wonder, here's my question. Are kids going to see this and think that Alexander Hamilton was a black man? Or, anyone else in the film for that matter. But I don't, whatever. Ava DuVernay, the person who made the movie 13 and the movie about the Central Park 5, which was the Central Park 5 movie, is propaganda at its finest. There's so many liberties taken with that. When you compare the actual interviews of those 5 boys compared to the theatricalized version that Ava DuVernay did. But she says, this is the moment it all changed for me. Sitting in Public Theater in New York, had been watching thinking, oh, this is very cool. Then this moment with John, Lafayette, and Hercules hits, and I suddenly was watching Lin-Manuel change everything. Everything. Well, he changed everything from the beginning of the opening curtain. I know. Oh, check the hashtag for funny or racist. You know what? We're going to skip Turner Trends, and this is going to be how we're going to finish. I'm going to check the hashtag today for a funnier racist statue. Here we go. Hashtag PDK News, which I haven't checked in a long time. I apologize for people who've been submitting things. And here we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. When you want to... Thank you, Pirate Pete. When you want to vandalize a statue, but the only one nearby is a fictional character. Oh my God! My son was in Denmark. He studied abroad in Denmark and actually went to see the Little Mermaid. Has pictures of it. The Copenhagen's Little Mermaid labeled racist fish. Good fucking God! Let's read the article, and this is how we'll finish the show, folks, with a racist fish. Copenhagen's Little Mermaid labeled racist fish. Denmark woke up on Friday to the words racist fish scrawled across the base of the Little Mermaid, the bronze statue honoring Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale that perches on a rock in the sea off a pier in Copenhagen. Police said it had not yet identified the perpetrators. The 107-year-old sculpture, which is visited by 1 million tourists a year, has been vandalized before, including by anti-whaling campaigners and pro-democracy activists, twice suffering decapitation. We consider it vandalism and have started an investigation, a spokesman for Copenhagen police said. Protesters of the Black Lives Matter movement around the world have in recent months rallied against statues of historical figures who played a role in racist oppression, such as slave traders and colonialists. Well, I don't think the mermaid was doing that. Fuck you and your imaginary fish. Yes, The Little Mermaid has not been a part of this debate, but last year, a Disney live-action remake of the 1989 animated film of the same name was the subject of a controversy after African-American actress Halle Bailey was cast in the central role. I'm having a hard time seeing what is particularly racist in the fairy tale, The Little Mermaid. Anne Grum Svensson, researcher at the H.C. Andersen Center at University of Southern Denmark, told Newswire Ritzau. Okay, that's the story. So, yep. I got to tell you. Wait, let's see. Cynical Lindsay, imagine having a story revolve around real black men in history and having it played by an all-white cast. That's not okay, but apparently an all-minority cast based off the white historical figures are. Yeah, I think it's. I've found it silly from the beginning, but I don't. Here's the thing. The truth is, I don't care. I don't care that the cast of Hamilton is 100% not people of melanin deficient, I'll say. Okay. However, I also don't give a rat's ass that Cleveland Brown is voiced by a white guy. Don't care. It's cartoon, fictional character. Don't give a shit. I don't care that. It's odd to me that the Little Mermaid is played by a young black woman, but whatever. If it's good, if it's well done, it's well done. It's well done. Don't care. Or that they've made Spider-Man a Hispanic kid, which is, I don't know. He's always been white. I don't care. But I want some consistency. Okay? I guarantee you, if we did the story of Thurgood Marshall, the first black Supreme Court justice, I'm pretty sure that would not be being played by Clint Eastwood. The Martin Luther King story would not be being played by Bobcat Goldthwait. Okay? Shirley Chisholm. I'm trying to think so hard of something that would be funny. Would not be being played by Rosie O'Donnell. Real people in real history should probably be played by somebody that looks something like them. Martin Sheen will not be playing Frederick Douglass. I'm just saying. So let's. I know Hamilton's a stylized version of the story. You know what? I don't care. That's fine as long as it's consistent. If you're an actor and you can play somebody, you should be able to play them. I don't care. Don't care what your race is. Oh, good God. Okay, I said I wasn't going to check. I'm just going to check if there's any. I got to see if there's any breaking news. Okay, we'll just go a quick rundown on Twitter trends. I'm trying to leave my house by 11:30 Central Time. I have one small bag to pack and a few things to put in the truck. Got to wake up Lady Boomer, and then we're driving to wherever we're going. Okay, Hamilton's trending number 1 because it is. It is on Disney Plus. We've already talked about that. Trending number 2, boycott the NFL. So here's what's happening. The NFL has decided during the first games this season, they are going to play the song Lift Every Voice and Sing prior to the national anthem, then play the national anthem. Now, Lift Every Voice and Sing has it's not official, but it has the popular moniker of being called the Black National Anthem. It's a wonderful song. I got to tell you, it's a great song. It has this moniker, the Black National Anthem. It's not really the Black National Anthem, but and in fact, here's the news on it. NFL is planning on playing the song known as the Black National Anthem before all Week 1 games. According to reports by ESPN, The Undefeated, USA Today, and the AP, citing sources close to the matter, the National Football League is planning to play this song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, also known as the Black National Anthem, before every game during the first week of its season. Now, this is pure pandering and virtue signaling by the league, but whatever, don't care. They've played America the Beautiful before the national anthem. They've played other songs before the national anthem. I don't know that this should be a big deal. The Star Spangled Banner is the Black National Anthem. It's the national anthem. It's the moniker, the Black National Anthem, is just a... I don't even know how you would describe it. It's a colloquialism? I don't know. We know that there's no... The national anthem of our country is the Star Spangled Banner, and will be until they decide to change it to Imagine, which some people have suggested. Imagine there's no heaven. Can you do it if you try? Imagine all the people singing communist songs. You, yeah, imagine that. Anyway, so they're making a big hubbub about this, and some people don't care, some people are cheering it, and some people are saying, "What the fuck?" Because because a lot of people have never even heard of this idea of there being a so-called black national anthem. It's just one of those songs that have been sung in churches and written. It's actually a very good song. The funny thing about this, though, basically the song "Lift Every Voice and Sing" is a song that describes how God can bring you through your tough trials and tribulations. In other words, it's a kind of a Republican song about making America great again. Anyway, so this has caused some controversy, and apparently someone's saying boycott the NFL, but I'm going to guess that people who are pissed off about people saying boycott the NFL are more likely making this trend than anyone who's considering boycotting the NFL. Black Lives Matter Hamid Zima says, "Is everything okay over there in the USA? Because if it's not your COVID-19 numbers, it's the elections, then it's BLM, then it's Jada and August, and now it's boycott the NFL. Y'all got a lot going on." Yeah, people, Twitter is a shithole. That's what it is. Kind of lame to run around threatening things, but I'm kind of over the PC crap. So if this helps, I know my wife would be happier with me doing other things. Boycott the NFL. Now, someone named Van says, boycott NFL. Talk about privileged. Civil rights used to be about treating everyone the same, but today some people are so used to special treatment that equal treatment is considered to be discrimination. Yes, the great Thomas Sowell. Good point, sir. Hey, remember when they boycotted Nike and that failed? Remember that boycott the NFL. Well, Nike was down what, 700 million in sales. So maybe there's I don't know. Nah, it's probably just because of the economy. So black folks are everyone tweeting about boycott the NFL. It's hilarious. Just like when White Lives Matter trended the other day, and the only reason it was trending is because all the little K-pop kitties were trying to take over the hashtag. This is hilarious. Boycott the NFL is, at least as I'm scrolling through this, okay, there is one boycott NFL advertisers. That one looks serious. Never a better time. So there's a few that are serious about it. Here's one. Singing Lift Every Voice and Sing before a football game will reveal to some what it feels like to sing an anthem that has nothing to do with you. Hey, dumbass. You're still a part of this country, okay? I'm just saying, it does have something to do with this because it's our national anthem. Now, if you're not happy with the country, that's okay. You're certainly, what's the word I'm trying to come up with? You are privileged to be able to do that in a country where dissent isn't illegal. And Trump hasn't rounded us all up and put us in, labor camps, right? Because the dictator Trump, who's not even close to being a dictator anyway, but they're still saying it. Authoritarian. Oh, that was coming up a lot. Okay, so that's trending. You know why. Pop Smoke. Don't know what that is. Redskins trending. Oh, because the Washington Redskins are going to review their name. Now, I've never gave a crap, but because now FedEx is one of the huge sponsors of the Redskins, which holds FedEx, which holds the naming rights to the Washington Redskins Stadium, has joined with several other major sponsors in asking the team to change its name, which campaign group changed the mascot calls a racial slur. The team released a statement saying they would review their name. That is amazing. Here's the press release. In light of recent events around our country and feedback from our community, the Washington Redskins are announcing the team will undergo a thorough review of the team's name. This review formalizes the initial discussions the team has been having with the league in recent weeks. Dan Snyder, owner of the Washington Redskins, stated this process allows the team to take into account not only the proud tradition and history of the franchise, but also puts input from our alumni, the organization sponsors, the National Football League, and the local community. It is proud to represent on and off the field. Now, if you know anything about this, Dan Snyder, when he bought the team, was like, everyone's like, you got to change the name. Dan Snyder's like, fuck you, I'm not changing the name. No, you got to change the name. Fuck you, I'm not changing the name. But you got to change the name. No, fuck you, I'm not changing the name, motherfucker. Now he's thinking about changing it. Here's some teams that have changed names without changing cities. The Wizards used to be the Bullets because remember the Washington Bullets? And because Washington was like not only the capital of the United States, but it was also the murder capital of the United States. And people thought, well, maybe the Bullets isn't the greatest name for the Washington Bullets. So they changed it to Washington Wizards. Don't know why the Pelicans. Oh, the New Orleans. What? The Charlotte Hornets. Wait. The new NBA Hornets to Pelicans? That's just because they moved. So it's not like it was there forever and then they changed the name. The Hornets used to be the Bobcats, but that was the Bobcats weren't in the league. Holy shit. Now, the Houston Oilers did change the name after they moved to Tennessee to the Titans, but it's not because they didn't change it. You dumbasses. The Oilers moved to Tennessee from Houston, where they were the Houston Oilers. And so they kept the name for a couple years while they were in Tennessee, and they're like, well, this name doesn't fit Tennessee, so we're going to change the name. Major League Baseball, the Devil Rays shortened their names to the Rays, and the NHL, the Mighty Ducks, shortened their names to the Ducks. Not a big deal. The only one on here that was an actual change without changing the city was the Washington Bullets, because it was the murder capital of the country. That's stupid. But anyway, I am a longtime Redskins fan too. I'm somewhat ambivalent to them changing the name. Oh, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, throwing out another doob. If you caught that, that's the 420 super chat that throws up a little Snoop Dogg, so I just call it the doob now. Throwing up a doob, a 420 is a doob now. That's the official the official dollar amount for a doob is $4.20. Thank you, sir. Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Lift Every Voice and Sing is a deeply religious song. How long before the atheists start to come out against it?
That's right.
Then the atheists will be called racists.
That's right.
Hey, I'm just saying. Oh, and then it will be blue on blue crime all over again, which is always funny to me. All right, let's see. Anything else I need to check in on? Pop Smoke? Nope. HBACU 5-star big man. Oh, Makur Maker. That's Thon Maker's little brother. Well, little brother. He's 6'11", I think. Commits to Howard University. Wow, he's a major prospect going to Howard. That's huge. That is huge. That's not, I mean, a lot of times these 5-star basketball players go to, big time basketball schools, but he's going to Howard University. Good for him. I'm glad he chose school over, just big name. I always like when major basketball projects go to school because of the school, not just because of the prestige of a big scholarship. So good for that dude. Dan Snyder, it's funny because so the Redskins put out that press release. Well, this article says, oh, Dan Snyder has no official plans to address call to change Redskins name. Now how is that trending still when the other one says the Redskins just had a press release saying that they're considering it? Okay. Let me see. I bet there's a lot of hate for Dan Snyder in this. Let's see here. I will click this just for the lulz. For years, Native Americans asked Dan Snyder to change the team's names, and he said it would never happen. And he put never in all caps. Nike and FedEx asked him to change the name, and less than 24 hours later, he all but confirmed he's going to do it. Okay. Let's see. No one give Dan Snyder an ounce of credit if he changes the name because the stadium's corporate sponsor publicly pressured him and Nike pulled their gear. The man must be remembered as a craven racist who went out kicking and screaming and sued grandma over season tickets. Because that's some thing where he sued some grandma or whatever. Update, FedEx has spoken, asking Dan Snyder to change the name of the team that plays at FedEx Field, while Nike, declining to comment, has decided actions speak louder than words, removing all Washington NFL gear from its website. Well, that's an NFL problem. Here's the thing. So the Redskins are scheduled to move into a brand new stadium, and they said they would not allow him to move into the new stadium in Washington, D.C. if he didn't change the name. They were deciding whether or not they're going to stay in their old stadium and say, fuck you. But you know what? Whatever. The market just decided for Dan Snyder. I think it's whatever. All right. Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Trending, even though it's tomorrow. Awesome. I'm sure there's I'm not going to, if I click these. Oh, July 4th will be very different this year for many Americans because of COVID-19. Whatever. Red Tails. Oh, is that a suggestion for the Washington Redskins? Best new name for the NFL team in Washington? Washington Red Tails. Do you know, if you know the significance of that, the Red Tails were the planes of the Tuskegee Airmen. And here's the idea. That'd actually that'd be kind of cool. The name Red Tail celebrates the World War II Tuskegee Airmen, who were the first African-American military aviators in the U.S. Armed Forces. The nickname Red Tails comes from their planes, which had a distinct crimson tail. You know what? I gotta tell you, never been a fan of changing the name, but if they're gonna change the name, that I think would be pretty cool. I'm just saying. I think it's a pretty cool name. I'm just going, wow. Whoever thought of that? Nicely done. All right. Enough is enough. Let's go. All right. Anything else? Anything else that's really pressing in the... Nope. Oh, God. Why is Five Guys trending? Okay, this is the last one for today. So Native American erasure for black dominance. You know what? Look, there's enough Native Americans, about 5%, who complain about the name Redskins. Now, to be honest, if you know the history of the term Redskins, that actually was a term coined by Native Americans. It was Native Americans who talked about the pale settlers, and you know, they said or said something about red skin. And so it was originated by Native Americans, but it became kind of a slur eventually in some cases. So anyway, but you know, I actually like that Red Tails idea. I do. I mean, if he's forced to change it, that would be fantastic. Now, why is Five Guys trending? So much Five Guys slander in the timeline. I'm hurt. Five Guys is. I'm sorry if you're a Five Guys fan, but I just think it's overrated. I'd much rather eat a Culver's burger or In-N-Out or Whataburger down in Texas. I just never... When I say Five Guys is trending, but it's people complaining about the price. Whatever. Oh my God. Five Guys is trending. Let me take a moment to shit talk my old job. Fuck you niggas for denying me a raise after I worked there for 1.5 years and never missed a shift. Okay, you're just salty because of your old job. For an entire paycheck, this Five Guys meal could be all yours. Okay, is that just people complaining? All right, that's it, guys. That's it. I am about to go celebrate the 4th of July with family and friends and hang out on the lake and. Oh my gosh, I didn't tell you this yet. Well, maybe I did. Did I already say this? We went fireworks shopping yesterday. We drove over to Wisconsin, where they have much better fireworks than are technically allowed in Minnesota. Oh my gosh. Talk about burning through cash. We're going to have a great show up at the lake. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here at the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT for my friends in the other parts of the world who join us on the often. And if you like what we do here, please hit the like button while you're on your way out the door. And if you really like what we do, throw a couple bucks in the tip jar once in a while, or thank you to the people who did super chaps today. Chicago Mike, Black Hebrew Israelite, Gamer Valine. I think that's everybody. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you're in the States, do something fun for the 4th of July, or just watch the president and his show at Mount Rushmore. Something's going to happen there. I am predicting it now. Something not cool is going to happen there, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I'm going to ignore the world for most of the next 3 days and just enjoy a few cocktails and some fireworks and hanging out at the lake. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for being here. I got to go. My name is PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy 4th of July. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.